Hi everyone, I'm Daniel, and I'm very excited to unbox the new Investigator expansion for Arkham Horror the card game, The Drowned City. First, let's take a look at the box. All shiny, got the different investigators here, 6 of them. And then we'll look at the sides and the back. Okay, we can see that there are 7 investigator cards, 7 mini cards, 227 player cards, and 1 rules booklet. Let's open it up. All right, we've already seen all these player cards, but it's nice to see them actually in person. So as usual, we get a giant cardboard insert here that doesn't do much. Here's our insert for the rules. We'll take a look at that. And then our 2 plastic bags of player cards, including investigators. So I'm not going to talk about all the cards in this video because I have other videos for that. Check them out once per week, going over all the cards. But let's just take a look, what they look like in person. About a month ago, we saw them all in Spanish. But here's Marion, her investigator abilities, and her deck building here on the back. I'm really excited to play her. And she's got a bunch of special cards with her. Her special skills, weakness. We get Lucius Galloway as well. Again, not going to go through all of these, but we got 2 versions of Agatha Crane. They look exactly the same on the front, except for the color. It's just the back has different deck building options. So take a look at that. Still 35 cards for both of them. This one gets Seeker cards 0 to 5, Insight events 0 to 3, up to 10 other level 0 Mystic cards. And then her Mystic version, very similar. This time, spell events 0 to 3, up to 10 other level 0 Seeker cards, of course. I'm excited to play with her signature card, though, Ocula Obscura. Seems really fun. Being able to seal a token and then just using it for the next time you take a test seems really good. Okay. Weakness is tough, though. And then we got Michael McGlenn. And he gets 0 to 3 rogue, I believe. And then anything with firearm in the text box or trait. Not in the title, just text box or trait. Comes with a Viola case. Confiscation is his weakness. Gloria. We've had Gloria for a while, but new art, new signature cards. Comes with psychic sensitivity, 3 of them look like that. And then 3 copies of her weakness, Prophecy, the End. These go into the encounter deck. George Barnaby. Very excited to play George Barnaby. I've seen some really cool ideas of what you can do with him. He has this weird thing about hand size being restricted by how many cards are face down beneath him in his boat. But you get to discard things, and it's kind of like an extra hand. Gets to play from a lot of stuff. Yeah, we're going to mess down here, but that's okay. Cast Adrift is his weakness. All right. Again, not going to go through every card, but we've got all of the Guardian cards here. Inspiring Presence level 2. Hoping to put that into my Carolyn Fern deck that I'm playing on the channel right now. Quick Shot, Myriad. So Myriad ones, we get 3 copies of them, of course. Alton O'Connell now, looking at the Seeker cards. Okay, the new research card, Dial of Ancients. Forensic Kit, a way to get clues and heal horror. This card I play with already a lot, and I like it. It's really fun. And these are the weird sealing rituals that I've yet to really figure out, but I'm sure I will. Upgrade to Working Hunch. Again, the new art for it is in the revised core. These are the upgrades for the research cards. And Antikythera, or Antikythera. Really a nutso card. Played it in Joe Diamond. It's good. All right. Those are the secret cards. I'm going to have to do some reorganization of my binders real soon. Okay, I got the Luger. Make sure we get the lighting here. It's just totally blurry right now. There we go. Looking forward to this card. Robert Castaigne, level 0 version, string along. I think this is a really nice new card for, several archetypes, really. Where's the Party? Good for Alessandra, but honestly, good for most rogues too. Card draw is good. Okay, You've Had Worse. Bum's Rush. Intimidation. I've only seen some of these in like kind of bad scans before, so it's really cool to see the actual card with the art where things aren't grainy. Crack Shot. Sorry, we got the focus a little off again. Doppelganger. Wow, Connection's just 1 copy. It's exceptional. Upgraded Watch This. Level 4 Robert Castaigne. Gatling gun. Yeah. Big gun. Very big gun. Less we talk about that card, the better. And then we are on to the second pack. That's the other copy of Breath of the Sleeper here. And then we're going to get Eyes the Dreamer next. Okay, we've got The Great Work. And this one is cool because when we flip it over, we get a new Investigator card. And somewhere in here, we should have the mini cards. I must have got stuck in something. I'll try to fish them out. Some more Mystic cards. I like this one a lot too. This one I've played with already. It's really fun. And this is a great design of a card. Sword Cane. This is one that fans helped design a few years ago, and it made it into the box. Same with Alice Luxley. Did we see? We didn't see Alice Luxley. It's in here. I just did not point her out. Yeah, there she is. Okay, continue to make a mess here on the table. Sword Cane. This is Spiritual Echo. Transfiguration, a real neat new card here. Really going to change the way people think about their decks. This one, it's so strong. This is so strong. People are going to do some crazy things with Enraptured. Lost Arcana, I think, is a neat version of Enraptured, but I don't know. It's good. It doesn't seem as strong. I really am looking forward to playing with Deliverance. I think this is going to lead to a lot of fun plays where one person draws all the encounter cards for one round, and the next round no one gets anything. There's Surge on the first card too, but I would love to play this in Calvin. And then we've got our 10 XP Eldritch Brand. Big card. Again, I'm not talking through the cards too much because I'm going to have other videos going into depth with them. We've got a whole suite of tools, hand slot tools that let you discard for extra stuff, for not readying, for extra damage, and then for extra clues. Lawrence Carlisle for this whole archetype, really. Profane Idol, again, another discard synergy. Lots of stuff about doing stuff from your discard pile, putting things into your discard pile. So this whole catch, unconventional method, these look like Act of Desperation from way back when, but they're for Investigate and Evade. Really cool. I think the Stork card is also very strong. Contemplative. Like Long Shot, but not. Ample Supplies. Upgraded Glimmer of Hope. Gets some more icons, basically, on it. Good Weather, another Myriad card. Neat art. Upgraded Improvised Weapon. No upgraded Winging It or Impromptu Barrier, though. Last Chance. And then this crazy Gift of Nodens card. Lets you commit things from the discard pile as long as they are red cards, survivor cards. All right, as far as the neutrals, Ascetic, we have just 3 copies of Short Rest. So if you want to do the combos, you need your friends to buy a set as well. Confidence, okay. Spiritual Healing, don't know why we need this, but here it is. And then we get the specialist cards. There's a lot of specialist cards. All the rest of this, other than the weaknesses at the end, are specialist cards. I think they're all 2 copies of each. Yeah, this is a large number, right? There's a lot of cards there. So here they are. I guess this one is limit 1 per deck. Dreams of the Clay. Got Inquisitive. We're going to have to make a video later that tells you about who can take all these cards. Since all of these cards have traits listed, these investigators can take these cards. No one else can. So if you're looking at who can play it, you know, right, we look at George Barnaby here, and it says that he's a drifter right there. So he can take this card, but someone who doesn't have Drifter, Hunter, or Wayfarer on the front of their card cannot put in their deck. Okay, I'm not going to go through everything. This is a funny card that's got 20 resources. This lets you deal 10 damage to an enemy. True Awakening, I think, this was in the preview article way back when. This is a nice choice, I think, of a card. Okay, holding too many things in hand here. Double Down. My friend Pax spoiled this card. Captivating Performance. We do know how this works now. I'm going to show you in the rules insert about how it works. So let me just put it over here for a second. Okay, some more specialist cards. Dakota Garofalo. This one I think is quite good. The extra move and engage is really nice. Knows the Grindstone. There's Wilson on the art, so of course he could take it. Sound Support. The one thing that medics can do. Trench Armor. Blood of Kinyon. Storm Ruler. Upgraded Motivational Speech for Charlie Kane. Lets him do it even if he's not in Guardian class. The level 0 is only in Guardian. Archibald McVie, or Vey. Another library pass. Here's the card that I spoiled. Mauser. It's the other one I spoiled on this channel. On Their Heels, I think, is a pretty cool idea of, you know, dogs going after an enemy or a clue. Then we've got a kind of a myriad one where there's 3 different versions of Sacred Oath. Okay, and they let you cancel cards. And lastly, we've got Dimensional Vortex. Makes all, not only enemies at a location, just go into a vortex, of course. Memories of Another Life is going to be a really fun card to play, but it means that you need to bring a binder with you every time you play. So maybe not when you go to a con, but maybe just pick a few cards that you think would be good for this effect. So something for a level 0 card, doesn't meet your deck building restrictions, it's okay, and you just to play at no cost. Really strong with the doubles, with Dynamite Blast, etc. All right, those are the cards. Let's see if I can dig out the mini cards. They should be in here. Here they are, still in the box. So we were promised 7 mini cards, 1 for each of the investigators. So we got Marion, Lucius Galloway, Agatha Crane, Michael McGlenn, Gloria Goldberg. This is George Barnaby, and then our homunculus. If you fail on that great work, right, this one here, and flip over, then you become the lost homunculus. You got to play with this card, and you get a new mini card for your trouble. Right. Okay. Let's take a look at the rules then that come in the box. So you don't have to look at the mess on the table right now. So there's a couple of rules here that we've seen before, alert and myriad. I do like how the expansion icon here is the autofail. But, you know, the first one, the core set, was the Elder Sign, so maybe we'll start getting some other tokens as expansion icons too. Not the last expansion, there will be more. All right, so about Agatha Crane, it says here that you must use the front and back of whichever one you choose, unlike Parallel. So if you choose Agatha, you're playing with this version, right, that is purple on the front and the back. Why does that matter? The front of her card's always the same. It's the color, right? So there are cards that care about which class you are or which classes you control. Your investigator card is one of them. So you don't get to have a front that is yellow and a back that is purple or something like that. Okay. On the next page, we've got the research keyword that is not new. Seal, that is not new. There's a lot of seal stuff in this campaign. Specialist, that is new. Again, like I said before, these are neutral cards, but they have a different color-ish in their frame, and they just have some text that says which deck they can go into. So even if you could take the card otherwise, like there's a firearm in here, well, that's a bad example. But allies, right? So allies that are specialists, like this guy, Archibald McVie, so he usually would be able to be taken by Charlie Kane, who can take 0 to 5 allies, but Charlie is not an assistant reporter or scholar, so he can't take this card. Okay. So, just another example of this. Great. Move on to some frequently asked questions. I think these are really important that they include as much as possible in the box that the cards come in, rather than having to search online for answers to questions. That said, I always see people ask questions that are answered in the FAQ. So maybe check this out when you pick up the set first. So we've got a question about if you can use George Barnaby's reaction ability when you discard cards during the upkeep phase. Yes, you can. So his ability, I believe, is once per phase. Take a look. Yeah, that's right. After you discard a card from your hand, place it face down beneath George Barnaby, then draw one card. So yeah, you can do that. But then, if I trigger George Barnaby's reaction ability during the upkeep phase, then realize I am still over my hand limit, do I have to discard down to my hand limit? Yes, if your hand limit changes during the upkeep phase, and as a result of the change, the number of cards in your hand exceeds your new hand limit, you must discard cards until the number of cards in your hand does not exceed your new limit. That's interesting because I hadn't really thought too much about, or maybe I have and just never found an answer about when your hand size is checked. So this seems to indicate it's always checked. Okay. Can I include a specialist card in my deck that matches one or more of my investigator's traits, even if that card is prohibited under my investigator's deck building restrictions? No, definitely not. So yeah, you couldn't take a firearm or something if you're not allowed to take firearms, like Lily Chen and the Bowser. What class of cards do specialist cards count for the purpose of Lola Hayes' investigator abilities? They're neutral cards. What kind of additional actions does captivating performance allow me to perform? All right, I've already lost the card. I put it aside. Oh no, here it is. This card here gives you an extra action after you perform 3 different types of actions in a row. So it basically tells you here that if one of your actions involves multiple action types, which was basically the big question people had, you get to choose which action type is contributing to the triggering condition. So you can play, as it says here, improvised weapon. It counts as both a play action and a fight action for cards like haste, but for captivating performance, they want you to read it as it counts as whichever one you want. So you could do a play fight with improvised weapon, and then your next action could just be a fight on some other kind of weapon, and that would count as something else. So it's very inclusive, very friendly wording for this one, which was tough because when we first read it, we had no idea, and that made it hard to tell how you should play the card. So I like it when they include this stuff, and I wish they included a whole lot more. If I use Dimensional Vortex, that is the card that was this one, right? That makes enemies go to some, non-location part of your table. And the location leaves play before the round ends. What happens to set-aside enemies? So this happens in something like Innsmouth, where sometimes enemies will be at locations, and that's what keeps the location around. But if there's no enemies there, then the location leaves. So this just says you discard the enemies. They're not considered defeated. Basically, the location is gone. They have nowhere to go back to. They go back to the discard pile. Cosmic Revelation, we didn't look at that card. What happens when I use Cosmic Revelation's ability while an investigator has a card with an undefined cost in their hand? They're not even or odd, so they can't be revealed or played. So this is a card, I guess I can pull it out. It's a level 1 event. So we'll get there. Here it is. Continue to make a mess on the table. Again, the binders will sort everything out later. So this one says choose even or odd. So what happens if you have something that is not a one of those, an undefined cost? So you can't reveal them or play them. That makes sense. How often can I resolve the seal keyword on bulwark, misdirection, or obscure? Whenever you can. It tells you, I think, on all of these cards. So here's misdirection. It says you may resolve this keyword again after you discover the last clue at your location. Seal +1 or 0. So I guess if you don't have any +1s or 0s in the bag, you can't do this. So when you meet the triggering conditions for bulwark, misdirection, or obscure, and there's at least one chaos token of the listed type in the chaos bag, you can do it. If there aren't any, then you can't. Once per instance of meeting its triggering conditions. But if you have, you can't even have more than one of these in play, so shouldn't be an issue. All right, last one. If my investigator is usurped by the homunculus, what happens to the trauma suffered by my original investigator? You get it transferred to this guy. So it's not really a different investigator. I mean, it sort of is, but no, you continue to have the same trauma. Okay, good to know. That's a good question, I think. All right, we've got some credits here. As always, thank you to everyone who worked on this, the playtesters, of course, too, but also anyone who made art, the designers, of course, and we're looking forward to the expansion itself coming out very soon. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for discussions of the player cards and not just this mess here on the table. All right, bye.